Hi, Nicole here with Own Your Moment, and today I have a very, very special interview with Alicia from Lush Party Studios. You've heard me talk about her before with my prop video. If you haven't seen that, I'll put that up for you to check out as well. But she owns a prop company, and they just happen to be my favorite PVC sign prop company. And so I'm really excited to share with you this conversation because she's coming back fresh from PBX, which is a photo booth expo, and she shares some really, really beautiful nuggets about community over competition. And so I'm going to stop talking and let you listen to her talk about it. So here is our interview with Alicia. I am so excited to be here with Alicia from Lush Party Studio. Thank you so much for being here. This has been like a long time coming because I know we wanted to do this like a month ago, and then
Yeah, thank you
sick.
for inviting me.
I was thinking then PBX happened, and then you were so busy from that. So there's so much I want to talk about. But first, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yes, well, my name is Alicia, as you mentioned, and I am the owner of Lush Party Studio Props. So that's all I do day in and day out. I live in Canada. I'm actually from Mexico, but I moved here, 18, 19 years ago.
Wow.
So pretty much I'm Canadian now,
Right?
but I still keep the roots, of course, as many people would have seen on my props. I do a lot of Spanish language props, so that keeps it alive, and it helps with the warmth with these cold winter days.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, I've been doing this for what I think it's gonna be 6 years in April. So
Oh my God, it's almost your birthday.
almost. So I'm also gonna be celebrating an anniversary like you. So yeah, it's 6 years going. Of course, out of those 6 years, this wasn't really what it is now. I mean, it was a hobby on the side that I never expected to take off like this. So to me, it's more like my second year in business. So
Really?
the, the first 4 years to me were like, okay, this is just for fun. And I quit my job in, I think it was November last year.
That's right.
So this is new. Um, so yeah, I do this with my husband, Bastian, and he's the only person that's here helping with all these props. So it
Wow.
can be overwhelming at times, but it's really nice.
That's
Yeah,
amazing. I have so many questions. So how, like, obviously you do photo booth props. So where
I
did
did.
that come from? Like that background? Did you have a background in photo booths?
Well, kind of. I mean, when I was with my ex-partner, I we used to have so many parties with our friends, and I was always part of the social committee at work. So they said, "Hey, he had a camera. He liked the gadgets, so he would always bring his camera everywhere." And I liked making things with my hands, so I started making signs, for those parties. And I had a friend tell me, "Hey, can you make me one for my birthday?" And so on and so forth. And then eventually one of our friends got married, and they asked us to bring the photo booth, which was literally just a camera with a tripod, lighting, and my props.
Wow.
So it was so bad, but everybody had so much fun. And so then at that point, I look at my ex and I said, I think we could do this on the side
Yeah.
and like actually do it right. So we started looking into getting a shell for the camera because we only wanted to do DSLR, and it started getting like that, but it was so on the side.
Mhm.
And our both our companies that we were working for at that time hired us for the Christmas parties
Oh
for
my
the
gosh.
next couple of years. And I remember I made a backdrop that was for an 80s party by hand. I glued um, little dots of pom poms because it was for um, like a Pac-Man. And so I started like putting
Oh,
the pom poms, like, yeah, it was nuts. And I made the lines were made out of ribbon, and so it was hot glue. and a lot of patience. And people loved it. And also I made the props, and the props were all like 80s related. I made an
Yeah.
etch and sketch, a Rubik's Cube and things like that. And I just saw how much fun people were having with that, that it was just like, okay, I should make this, because everything I could see out there, I didn't totally love.
Yeah.
So I just decided to make it on my own. And eventually it didn't pan out very well with the photo booth, because my ex just didn't want to really invest time
Yeah.
on it, and I couldn't do that and my full-time job, and it was just too much. So I decided to just do the props, open an Etsy store, and it went from there.
Oh my gosh. And was it always Lush? Like, how'd the name come?
I wanted something that sounded like fancy, but
Yeah.
I couldn't come up with like, okay, I don't know, because there's so many words, and also at the same time, living in Quebec, it's French, and the word lush in French can be sounding bad, but I'm like, I don't care. I'm not dealing with French people.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. Honestly, it just, I wanted something fun and that sounded luxurious, and at the same time that it was not pigeonholing me,
Yeah.
because I mean, it's like a studio. I'm doing designs, I'm doing things with my hands, and I wanted to maybe at some point, if I wanted to branch out from just props, I could without it having, say, props there. I don't even know how it came up. It just came up.
I love the name.
Thank
I
you.
think it achieved exactly what you're saying. Because as soon as you said like luxury, it's like, oh yeah, that's exactly what it says. Like you hit the nail on the head with that. That was
Yeah,
really
yeah. I'm
that's
glad.
and I love that you were thinking ahead and not pigeonholing yourself.
Yeah,
I think people can sometimes do that maybe unknowingly, especially in the photo booth world, is
yeah,
I mean, I put booth at the end of mine, but it is it's very easy to attach yourself to one thing when you never know what the future is going to hold, and you could always
yeah.
just stand.
Not only that, but me being a vendor, I can see a ton of your names, the
Yeah.
clients' prospective or actual. And I can tell you that the names repeat
Yeah.
over and over. And sometimes I'm like, okay, okay, this one is here. Okay, never mind. It's not the same person. And so that's something that, if there's anyone new out there looking to start a photo booth, to try not to go with the same thing. And I know it's, you have to convey what your service is, but in your case, like, own the moment, and it's like you're talking about, it's the party, it's the moment, it's the event, so
Yeah.
that makes you memorable. And there's another of my clients, a lovely lady, she named hers after her dog, and it's
Oh, that's
Buddy
cool.
Blue, and I shout out to her because I love that and I remember it right away. So it's super important to go with something that people will say, oh, where did that come from? And then you talk to them about
Yeah.
it, and it helps so much, because I have seen click this and camera that, and of course that's what you do, but you gotta try to do something a little bit more about you, and not so much just about the photo booth,
Hmm.
because again, you can also branch out how you turn on the moment to different things, corporate and the podcast, and all these things that came from it.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. It's yeah, there's so much that goes into a name. So I know that's like the difficult part that people get hung up on in the beginning, and rightfully
Yeah,
so. You should be very, very strategic
like
when it
naming your child.
yeah, you're right.
It's the same. I mean, I don't have kids, but I went through that with my dogs, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want them to have the same name as everybody, but
Yeah.
anyway,
So you
it's
went
like that.
from hand designing props to now you have like the PVC. Could you
Yeah.
explain maybe to somebody who has no idea what that means? Why is that different?
Well, I mean, when I started, they were made out of literal cardstock,
Cardstock, yeah, that's true.
and yeah, it was cardboard that, like, I don't have one right now. I should have brought one. It was literally a thick cardstock layered with different glitter cardstocks that you can buy,
Yeah.
at Michael's or whatever. and I was like gluing them in a certain way that it would make a nice thick prop. And I know my clients from 6 years ago still have them, so that should attest to how nice and sturdy they were. The difference with the plastic ones, of course, cardboard plastic, it's day and night, but the plastic, it's something that I'm trying to educate most people that not all PVC is the same. PVC
Yes,
is
I've
just a
noticed
type
that.
of plastic. Thank you. And I mean, it's a plastic that doesn't bend, the one that I have. It doesn't bend, so it will not snap. It's a high density PVC, so it means that it has less bubbles inside. And some of them out there, they are very porous inside, so you can bend them and snap them like it's nothing.
Yeah.
So mine are 5 millimeter thick. I've seen others that are 6 millimeter. My custom ones are 6 millimeter because I partner up with a company that can make them for me, but we can only source 6 millimeter with them right now, but it's still really amazing. And so that's the difference really. And also the print quality. There's different kinds of ink out there. So, some people unfortunately have told me that they have bought other props, that they clean them with a Lysol wipe or whatever, and the print just comes off.
Yep.
So that doesn't happen here. It's a UV cured ink. So, the UV light, kind of like for the nails, how you go and get your gel, it cures it the same way. So it doesn't come off easily.
Yeah.
And it's really, really nice. Hang on, I have one. So here you can see how thick that is.
Yeah.
And I'm literally trying to bend it and I can't.
Yeah.
So this is a big one I made for our wedding.
Oh my gosh, how cute.
Yeah. So I mean, when we got married, it would be ridiculous, A, not to have a photo booth, and
Right.
B, not to have my props. So I had to make them.
Exactly. Oh, I love that. That's so cool. Now, I have so many of your prop collections, and I have I went to try and get graduation stuff. I was like, well, I guess I was late because they were all sold out.
They're arriving today.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you have an update on the arrival? That's awesome.
Yeah, everything that's sold out, we did very well lately. So with that, the downside is that we run out of stuff.
Yeah.
So we just received 6 boxes yesterday. So we've been working hard on unpacking everything. So we have prom coming out, we have grad coming out. And a few other things that were back ordered, like the birthday set was back ordered. So we're working hard. Well, Bastion is out there just making. Last night we're watching TV and making sets.
Yeah.
So they're coming back.
I love
and
it.
There's more stuff coming in. I have like 30 boxes on the way and another shipment of 5. So yeah, there's more stuff coming.
That's awesome. So for somebody who's like brand new into the photo booth business, which sets would you recommend like that they get? I guess it would depend on their client. But
yeah, it depends. I mean, there's no denying that everybody's gonna get a wedding.
Yeah.
At some point. So I would definitely prioritize getting wedding sets, which I have many of them. I think I have like 6 or 7 sets of different wedding things. And I also have like generic party signs, like the party set number 1 and then number 2. And I also have a letterboard set, 2 letterboard sets. So those are evergreen. You can use that all the time. Of course, you can always remove or add, mix and match, depending on the event, because many of them you can bring to a kid's party and others you can bring to a bachelorette. So it depends on your crowd, and that's why I try to make like those evergreen sets that you can use all the time.
I have I have the 2 letterboard sets. And I use them for like all of any kind of like corporate event. I use them and they love them. They think they're hysterical. They think they're so fun. So I use them literally all the time, I feel like.
Yeah, everybody likes the don't worry, walk, I'm extra too.
Yeah.
It's okay, walk.
Ugly. Like That's a good one. I love it. Hot mess. People love that.
Yeah, they love it.
That's so awesome. So you were just at PBX.
Yes.
Could you explain what that is? Because I'm not going to lie to you. When I was looking at the photo booth industry, I mean, last year, a year ago, I hadn't started yet. So I was like, what is everyone's talking about this
What
convention?
is this? Well, it's the Photo Booth Expo, and it happens every year in Las Vegas at the same hotel that is not on the strip and smells of horse, but
Oh.
that's not the point. Anyway, yeah, it's a really awesome event that's full of vendors. It's huge. We have, aisles and aisles of people doing exhibits of their products, software. You have different photo booths, you have the mirrors, you have the 360. So people are showcasing that there. And obviously, us prop vendors, we go there as well because we want to see our clients and show them what we have. And it's not the same for me to tell you, oh yeah, it's high density PVC, blah blah blah. No, you have to come over, touch it, look at it in front of you, and that's what I love about it because I can truly convey that right there. So this event, it runs. I think we do the exhibits for 3 days, but there are also conferences. They start on Monday usually, and they run Monday, Tuesday. I think I have never been to the conference side because not having a photo booth anymore. I'm being a vendor. It's a little hard. But there's the conferences during the morning and sometimes in the afternoon, I think, and then they open the exhibit floor. So you can do both. You can learn and you can go and shop, see what's out there. Even if you don't buy anything, it's just really nice to see all that's out there. And everybody that's someone in the industry, we try our best to be there because if you're not there, people think that you're gone. You have to be there.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's a bit scary. You get that FOMO that you're like, no, I need to be there.
Yeah.
And with COVID and everything that happened, it was so uncertain. I think obviously 2020, what was it, 2021 didn't happen. And then last year, it did happen and it was insane. We thought that people were not going to show up. And I think that 2 or 3 days before, the state of Nevada decided to drop the requisite for masks.
Oh.
And all us vendors, we were like, yay, thank God they can see my face. Because selling something with a mask on your face is not easy.
Very difficult.
And that year was insane. Like we came back and we were just astounded how good it was. And we just got back here, what was it? At the end of February. And it was 5 times better than the year before. We were floored. Wow. I don't know if it was because we have more visibility or because there were like 6,000 people that showed up. Yeah. I don't know what it was, but it was astounding. Like I was so honored that people were just rushing over to see us and taking selfies with me. And I'm like, I'm just selling props. Like, what's going on? But I started talking to Bastian after that. And I realized that it's like, it is more than just selling props. Like I have had people literally tell me, Alicia, because of your props, I was able to get this gig, or people choose me because they see the props and they love them. So they go for it. And that's what like makes them choose us at the end after everything that they like. They're like, oh, you have those props, let's go with it.
Yeah.
And so obviously somehow I'm helping you guys have a better business.
100%.
And I think that's why they rush over and want to take selfies, which is really humbling and weird, but very nice.
Yeah, I mean, and I will say this about you too. You have like very much a social media presence. You're really you're in the Strong Women's photo booth group, right?
Yeah.
Are you a part of that, like a moderator?
Yeah, I am actually part of well, we are forming a committee, but before the committee, it was just me and Julia Lewis, which is also a prop maker. And we just hit it off. So I started helping her out. I saw that she needed some help with, you know, the logo was a little bit outdated. So I'm like, hey, how about this new logo? So I helped her with that, and we organized the women's conference, which happens at the same time as PBX. So a lot of people choose to go to that instead of the conferences from PBX.
Yeah.
Because I will have to say that what I have heard is that many of the conferences during PBX tend to be a little bit about buy my software and buy my not my prop, sorry. Yeah, buy my props, but buy my product. And so that can be a little bit like misleading. Like people are there to learn. So,
Right.
you know, you can be unbiased, but you know, the speakers, they are probably owners. And so of course they're gonna push their product. But what we do at the women's conference, we try to get speakers that are completely unbiased, and they will, you know, especially obviously it's for the women. And the reason that this happened is because out there's other Facebook groups that can be a little bit aggressive, and it doesn't feel safe to ask questions, which is very unfortunate, but it's part of the online life.
Right.
So in this group, you know, there's no dumb questions. Like, you want to talk about having a tip jar, talk about it here, you know, and people are gonna tell you don't do it, but we're not gonna be like calling you names, or it's a safe spot. So we really like that.
No, I gotta say, like, yeah, with that, with you being such a presence, such a strong presence, such a uplifting and encouraging presence, not only in that group, but even just personally, like you've reached out to me in moments where you just like said encouraging words at the right exact time that I needed to hear it. And I'm like, there have been many times where you've been so kind to me and I've been like crying because it was just exactly what I needed to hear. And so you are so very encouraging, and especially with the fact that you were joining with somebody else who's in the same almost like competing industry as you. And in the big scheme of things, you would think that you would not want to be helping your competition, but you saw this as a way to build community and help better not only each other, but like the photo booth industry as a whole. So I just want to shout you out for that, because that's an incredible leadership move. And I have so much respect for you and your leadership.
Thanks. I mean, I have to say, I wasn't always like that. When I started, I was very insecure. And, you know, there were incidents where, you know, I felt people were copying me because, you know, it was just terrible timing from their part, because it was just not good. And I got really upset. And, you know, people are always telling you, oh, well, if they copy you, that's flattery, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, it's theft.
Yes.
Theft. But in the end, I got over it over time. And I'm like, okay, let it go. And I realized that, you know, there's plenty of room for all of us.
Yeah.
There's plenty of room for Julia and for Teresa and Brian and Guillo and all these people that have props as well. And, you know, I have gone and talked to pretty much all of them. There's a couple that I haven't had the chance to go and say hi to because it's always insane at PBX. But, you know, last year there was a new prop maker that came out, and it's props to you. And I literally went over there and I'm like, hi, I'm Alicia from Lush Party. You know, I make props too. And we hit it off, and they're great people. I took some selfies with them at PBX. And so they're just trying to make their own, you know, business and life. And they're not out there to bring each other down like, oh, I make props too, so I'm gonna go and fight them. No. You know, it's not easy getting to that point of being mature enough to
Yeah.
handle it like that. It takes time, because as I said, I was very insecure at the beginning, and then I realized that that fear, it was just coming out of fear that I was just doubting myself.
Yeah.
And so I was like lashing out mentally. And then I was like, no, I trust what I have. I trust my designs. I trust my customer service. And we don't have the same thing,
Yeah.
you know? And so I said, I have no reason to hate anybody. I have no reason to be upset that there are other prop makers. That would be stupid if I was the only one. So I realized really that what makes me different from all of them is me.
Hmm.
They're not me, and I am not them.
Yeah.
So we have different styles, we have different things. You know, there are others, like for example, Julia. She has her own line of items that I don't have, and
Mm.
vice versa. So if someone is looking for something, more colorful and all that, they go with her because mine are a little bit more, black, white, gold. Like I try to stay in that realm, but of course it doesn't work for everything. So I have a lot of color and other things too. But in the end, we all have something unique about us,
Yeah.
and different people like that, and not because they buy from others doesn't mean they're not going to buy from me. A
Yeah.
lot of people have a mix of, oh, I like a little bit of yo props, I like a little bit of props to you, I like a little bit of proptron, and that's totally perfect.
Yeah.
So getting over that realization, it really helped me grow, because now I am confident about my product, my service, my designs, and I stopped worrying about whatever else they were doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, but it took a while, I have to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I think that whole mentality and that whole thing can also translate into so many other areas, because I hear this all the time in the photo booth industry too. It's recently someone came to me talking about, like, they're at a bridal expo and there were other like photo booths that are similar to hers there,
Yeah,
and what should she do or what should she think, and it came back to that, like, there is only one you. What is your special sauce? What's your
yeah,
special offering? What's your, and
that's exactly it.
you got to put
That's
blinders
exactly it.
up and focus and don't worry about
Yeah,
anything else. Yeah.
it's not easy. I
It's
have to
not.
tell you, it's not easy because, of course, we're all human, and
Yeah.
there are days that I'm sure you've had, those days that you feel like you're not good enough, that
Yeah.
what am I doing? We all go through that.
Yeah.
So it's not easy, and it is not a magical thing that happens overnight. Of course, I still worry that I'm missing something, but then something happens, and I'm like, I get a review or I get a message that I did not ask for, and they just say, Alicia, I just got the props and they're amazing, and I love you guys, and you know, um, so yeah, ultimately, when you're at a bridal show, or there's other 5 photo booths in your city or whatever, you do you.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about what they're doing. Yes, you're going to lose customers to the others, but then those are not your customers.
Right.
So yeah, it's as I said, it's not easy getting to that point mentally to realize that that you have to grow and you have to just mind your, that's exactly it, mind your own business. And it's literally that. um you will get over it. um I think that comparison is just the killer of everything, is the killer of joy, the killer of happiness overall. So don't compare yourself to others, because there's always going to be someone more successful, more
Yeah.
beautiful, thinner. Like, what's the point of that? Like, there's only one of you.
Mhm.
And I know this sounds like, coaching um 101, but it's it all comes down to what can you do that the others can't.
Yeah.
So it will happen and you will get over it, and it takes time.
Yeah.
But once you realize, hey, I have something that the others don't have, and I'm not talking about software, I'm not talking about hardware. I have this boost that the other one doesn't have, because you know you can have it today and then tomorrow they buy it, and so what?
Yeah.
It's about how you present it, how you market it, how you present yourself. So yeah, it's tough, but you can do it.
Yeah. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your insight, sharing your journey, sharing everything that you have. Like, you are so wise, and I'm so grateful. And I hope that everyone listening really takes on to that, especially that last bit, because I think we can all really, really hold on to that. And I know that's something that I will take from this too. So I appreciate
Yeah,
so much being a part of this conversation.
yeah. I'm you say I'm wise, but I have my terrible moments that I'm like literally crying with Bastion, and I'm like, what am I doing? Um, but it's something I love doing.
Yeah.
And as I told you, I quit my job, my full-time job, last November, and Bastion quit it in May before me. And now you realize, now you have that fire lit under your butt, and you're like, okay, now I have to pay for this, and I have to pay for the mortgage, and
Exactly.
I have to pay for the car. So it just pushes you to, all right, we gotta hustle now. But even mentioning that hustle thing, is that people have to also realize that sometimes the best hustle you can do is rest,
Mm,
because I started burning out, and nobody can do a good job by being so tired. And you gotta chill, you
yeah.
gotta take a step back and say, okay, this weekend I really can't take any
Mm,
bookings anymore, I need to focus. So try to do that as well. And of course, when you can, gotta pay the bills. But it's something I understood the hard way.
yeah.
That hustle culture thing that they have been ingraining on us, it's not healthy.
Right.
So we gotta chill a
Right.
little bit. More stuff coming up this year, and I'm excited to share that. So
Oh, I
if you
can't
have
wait.
any ideas, let me know.
Oh my gosh. I've been seeing people to ask for Bad Bunny props.
Well, funny you say that. I unveiled them at PBX,
Did
and they were
you?
selling like, yeah, they were selling like hotcakes. It was insane.
Oh, that's another benefit to going to PBX. You see like behind the scenes and first
Yeah.
look.
Well, I mean, I can't bring a lot because, coming from Canada, it's
Yeah.
just extremely difficult to bring everything I have. I
Yeah.
have over 120 sets.
Wow.
So even if I brought one of each, it would be insane. So I
Yeah.
bring my catalog, I bring a bunch of singles that people can just buy there on the spot and then place their orders. But I decided to unveil the Bad Bunny set during PBX, and people were just
Losing
going
their
nuts.
minds. Yeah.
Yeah, going nuts. So I don't know what I'm gonna do next, because I have the Perreo set. I mean, you being in Florida, you see a lot of
Yeah.
Hispanic parties and all that.
Mhm.
So Latin Latin flavored things. So you're gonna see that a lot. Just I keep you posted, and keep
Yeah.
checking my Instagram, and you'll keep seeing that.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. Well, thank you again for being here on our YouTube channel with Own Your Moment Co. And I hope everyone goes and checks out the bottom links. I'll have everything linked for you to check out Alicia's stock and get your graduations, since they're going to be restocked soon. Get them before they're sold out again, because they will sell out. I feel
They
like
will sell out,
they will
but
sell
more
out.
are coming.
Yes, yes. Thank you again, and we'll chat later.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope it was insightful for you, and I hope it was an interesting conversation to join in on. I would love your thoughts and questions. And also, please don't forget to check out my 15% coupon code for her props. Visit her website, see what she has to offer. If you have graduation events coming up, make sure to snag a set for yourself. I'm doing that right now because I don't want it to get sold out again. So yeah, go visit her website, support her. She's an amazing and beautiful, beautiful person. And I'm so grateful that we got to have this chat today. So stay tuned for more interviews. I love doing these and I know you guys do too. I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks.